Hello, my name is Jen. Welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be our September TBR. So, sort of spoiler, I had every intention of both doing TBR takedown spins and Becca's Bookopoly this month. However, I did Bookopoly first, and the Bookopoly gods were not kind to me. So for this month, we are only going to do the Becca's Bookopoly TBR, and if by chance I can add things on, I will add them via the TBR wheel. If you do not know what Becca's Bookopoly is, the link to the announcement video for this round will be below. It is probably my favorite readathon. I really love prompt-based readathons, or like themed readathons, so I absolutely adore this readathon. I'm super excited to participate this year in the month-long versions. But I do have the TBR wheel ready to go for October for it to make its grand comeback for spooky season, so subscribe if you have not already to catch that video when it's time. But for now, I think we're just gonna get into, but right now we're gonna get into just a quick recap of August. It is currently the 28th. It's currently the 28th, and I have one book left on my actual TBR takedown TBR. So we're actually going to complete that. I will have in my wrap up more information on each of the books, on as a Polathon wrap up, how many pages I read and how much I was able to donate to Polar Bears International, I think is the name of the charity that we are donating to. So all of that will be in my wrap up. But for now, let's look at where we're at for actual TBR takedown. So physical TBR currently sits at 254, which is still down from the 275 we started with, but it is not where we need to be. I think there's too many I think all of the exceptions are counting, but they're not counting towards. I think I might have to rework that a little bit. I think I'm gonna rework up on a little bit more of this kind of throughout the rest of the year so that we can start with a really strong version in January. But for now, we're just gonna we're gonna try to get down to that 225. I am moving in a few months. I am gonna still be cutting things, but there are things coming in. And because I'm stressed, because I'm moving in a few months, retail therapy is a thing that I am using to cope with all of this. Plus when you find a good deal sometimes you need sequels to books and series that you've started, and so that's where we're kind of at. But I am continuing to kind of tighten up some things there, add some things maybe in the next coming couple of months, and we'll hopefully have this buttoned up before 2023, which I'm not ready to deal with. We did unhaul 11 books in the month of August, which great. I will link my unhaul videos somewhere, and if anything is still available, it is on my Pango store. But at some point in the near-ish future, I'm gonna have to purge and just probably sell it to half price books. I do have another set that needs to go to half price. So if you're interested in any of that, the links will be somewhere, and my Pango Books store has all of the information. That is also linked down below. We're gonna need all the coffee because this is gonna be a long one. As I've mentioned before, the Bookopoly gods the board was not kind to me. So we're just gonna get into roll number one, and we will talk through what I'm hopefully going to be reading in September. I'll show you roll number one. And we've got a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 people. To be honest, I was kind of hoping for that one. Also, it was a double, so adding one more roll to this. Started out with a double. So my intention was to do 5 Bookopoly, then 2 TBR takedown. So we're currently just sitting at a base of 5. So we're currently, with this double, we are now at 6. And we got people. And for that, I'm going to be rereading The Deal by Elle Kennedy. This is the Literature Book Club pick for September. I've read this twice already, but I fucking love this book. So I'm going to read it again. This follows Hannah and Garrett. Hannah makes a good impression on a guy, and Garrett needs help with his schoolwork. They are at Briar University. Garrett is on the hockey team, and if he doesn't pull up one of his grades, he's going to get kicked off the team or not able to play. So Garrett asks Hannah for help with school, and Hannah asks Garrett for help with sex. And in order to kind of have this go on, they enter a fake relationship where they're pretending to date while Garrett is helping Hannah with some things in the bedroom while Hannah is helping Garrett with his schoolwork. I freaking adore this book, and I'm very excited to reread it. Roll number 2 is another double. And so we move 4, 1, 2, 3, dice roll roulette. I'm gonna have to look up what Becca said this space means. Also, another double. So we're now up to 7. Great. You can already tell where this is going, right? So, roll number 2, another double, and we landed on the dice roll roulette space. And what this means, I believe, I'm going off of memory here, is that for every dot on both die is 50 pages, and then there's like a corresponding page range that your book has to be in. And I got 4, so that corresponds to 200. That's not right. 175 to 224 pages, which was actually really hard. So here's how I'm gonna play this. Their Vicious Darling is supposed to come out on September 1st. I have no idea how long it is, but it's usually under 350. So if that book comes in and hits this page range, we'll be using this. If it does not, we're going to be using Status Update by Annabeth Albert. This is book 1 in her Gamers series that I actually know nothing about, except for that it is male romance, and it follows some people who I believe are creating like a game, like a video game. This is one of the there are a few Annabeth Albert series that I have not started yet, and this is one of them, and I've got this as an ebook. So if Their Vicious Darling does not work, we will be reading Status Update, which I'm not mad about. Roll number 3. 6. At least it's not a double. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Favorite trope. Next, we are finally free of a double, and we landed on favorite trope. And I had so many, and there's just so many books, and I didn't know what else to do. So we're spent a lot of time trying to figure out what to read for this, but I think I've ended up with Love on the Brain by Allie Hazelwood. This is like a enemies hate to love thing, which I very much enjoy and adore, and especially the way it happened in the Love Hypothesis. I'm really excited to read this. I don't know anything about it. It's got science, and there's a woman named B and a dude named Levi, and they don't like each other, and they're in grad school, and it has to do with science. I honestly don't need a ton more than that. So this is the Illumicrate Afterlight edition, because my edition says it's here, but I haven't been able to find it yet. My regular edition says it's been delivered, but I can't find it. So, but I have this version, so at least we'll be able to read with this. Roll number 4. So 3. 1, 2, 3. Favorite genre. The next roll gave us favorite genre, and again, I have many, but we were going to be reading She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan as a fantasy sci-fi Mostly because this is actually on what I'm calling the TBR takedown countdown, which means in the month of September, we will have hit the 90-day mark for when this was acquired, when I have acquired this, which means I need to read it, otherwise it counts as negative points. So this is a historical fantasy inspired by the Ming Dynasty. I don't know anything else about this. I believe it's queer. It's actually not as long as, it's only 400 pages. For some reason I thought this is like massively longer. I am trying to get my hands on the audiobook, but I think this should be pretty doable. I don't know if I've actually heard anything about this, but it is on the countdown. So if I do not read this in the month of September, we will be losing 3 points for TBR takedown. Roll number 5 is 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Features a, what does that even say? I think that's supposed to be, features a death. Ooh. The next prompt was a book featuring a death, and for that I'm going to be rereading Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This is book 1 in the Kingdom of the Wicked series. And I'm going to forget half of all of this that follows. This is the story of Amelia and her twin sister, Vittoria, has gone missing and is later found dead, and she is basically out for revenge and to figure out who is responsible. The last book in this trilogy comes out at the end of September, I think, and I have it pre-ordered, but I need to reread, I think, books 1 and 2, so at least get book 1 on here. We'll see if I have time for it's the very end of September, so I may just roll books 2 and 3 into October, but we're at least gonna get Kingdom of the Wicked reread in September. Roll number 6 is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, multi-point of view. That should be pretty darn easy. The next prompt was a book with multiple points of view, and for that I'm going to be reading Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Kemmerer. This is another book that I acquired in, I think it's June, or it would be June. June is hitting that TBR takedown countdown in the month of September. So we thankfully were able to get this on a TBR. This is the first book in the spin-off series from A Curse So Dark and Lonely, which I enjoyed. I love book 1. I have, the rest of it is, I love book 1, but I love the characters the most. So, and I really love Bridget Kemmerer's writing, just because. So I am excited to check this out. This follows Tycho, who is in the first trilogy, and I don't know a ton else other than that. And also features Jax and Kaylin, and I believe there's some LGBT rep in here, and I don't know what it is. My allergies are driving me nuts today. It's a beautiful map. But I read Defy the Night late last year, early this year. You know, it was the first book I read this year, one of the first books I read this year, and enjoyed it. So I'm like hoping that Bridget Kemmerer can hold on to me, even though my YA, my interest in YA has significantly decreased. Crossing my fingers, and hopefully we'll get this read, and hopefully I really enjoy it, because I think the sequel Defy the Night's about to come out, but I think the sequel for this will be in May, and I would like to know if I need to continue forward. And the final roll, I was only going to do 5, and now we had 2 doubles, so we are at 6, 7. Let's roll. I guess we're adding a roll, but we have a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Randomize your TBR. Yikes. And in what should have been the final roll, we got another double. And we landed on Go. So for this, I'm going to randomize my TBR. I believe my TBR shelf on Goodreads is up to date. So I'm gonna do my best to have something to show you. But I'm gonna go and do a random number generator between 1 and 254, whatever the number is. I'm gonna go do that and then figure out which book that is. I'm gonna sort by author. Book number 64 is an Unreliable Magic by Rinch Pecco, which I do want to read. However, I do need to reread book 1, and I don't want to add that to my TBR. So I'm going to kick myself in the face, but this is what we're going to do. I am going to do another random number generator and hopefully get something that I can read or will read. And then because I'm choosing not to, I think Becca's rules is to add a roll, but what I'm going to do is add a spin. So what we're going to do is make this worse on myself, because why not? I'm going to do another random number generator, get that book, hopefully. And then I'm going to add a spin to the end of this so that the TBR just gets longer. I think that's what I'm gonna do. $20.19. Blood of Elves. Oh, this will work. The number confused me. I lied. Blood of Elves isn't gonna work, but I'm gonna find a compromise. Blood of Elves is the first full book in the Witcher series. I have not read Sword of Destiny, which should come before then. So we're gonna add Sword of Destiny to my September TBR. I wanted all the fantasy. I'm getting all the fantasy. This is, I don't know a ton about this, except, well, the Witcher series follows Geralt, who is a Witcher who basically hunts monsters and gets paid for it and is this big brute who doesn't need anybody. Except he does. I was actually thinking about rewatching the first season because I did read The Last Wish earlier this year. It had to be because I didn't get obsessed with Witcher until late last year. So, and that followed most of season 1. So I was thinking about rewatching season 1, and then apparently I was going to read this at some point because I tabbed it. And I think I have the audio for this. So we will be adding Sword of Destiny by Andreas Sapkowski. And we'll be adding a spin at the end of this. Here we are at roll number 8. That starts, and we'll roll. Well, I guess we're going for 9 this time. This is more books than is normally on my TBR. But we have a 6. People again. This has gotten worse even after I did all of those rolls. So adding on, we got another double, which brings the total rolls for Bookopoly to 9. And I got people again. And I think what I'm going to read for that is A Heart of Blood and Ashes by Milla Vale. This is Riley Marie's Patreon. I'm doing a lot of rereads this month. This is her Patreon book club read for September. This is a reread for me. This is, I just recently remembered this summary. What is this? This follows Maddox whose parents were murdered, and he is out to get vengeance. He does not want to be king, but he's trying to kind of get his revenge, and he ends up kidnaps, what is her name? Yevon, and they end up getting married, and I don't remember a ton else, but this is a fantasy romance. It's really good. I believe my critique is that the overuse of the C word and something else that I can't remember, but I will remember because I'm going to be rereading this in September, which I'm actually really excited for because I have book 2. Book 3 got pushed back until like July of next year, but I do own book 2 and will like to continue on with the series soon. or at least before that comes out. And please, for the final time, the 9th roll. Oh, thank goodness. A 3, 1, 2, 3 buildings. And for our 9th roll, we got buildings. And for that, I'm going to be reading Wildlands by Stacey Marie Brown. There is a building on the back. There's a building there. It's very hard. It's kind of hard to see. But there's a building on this cover. This is the second book in the Savage Lands series. I read book 1 in August and adored it. It's with its fault, but the plot is very good, and I'm excited to continue on as soon as possible, so that I can actually continue on with this series and not let it linger like everything else. Savage Lands follows Brexley, who is the ward of the king of Budapest, the human part of Budapest. This is a me problem, not a book problem. But she is also this like Robin Hood kind of character who takes medicine and things from the rich people, usually stealing them off trains, and gives them to the people in the Savage Lands, which is this desolate area between the human and the Fey world, where basically where you get ostracized and or exiled. It's very poor. But then she gets caught and gets sent to this prison, which is known as the House of Death, that she's not expected to come out of alive. And there she meets a wonderful group of people, including Warwick, who I need more of. So, Wildlands, it's on the TBR. I'm going to preface this and let everyone know that there's no way in hell I'm reading 10 books in September. It's, like I said, working on trying to figure out where I'm going to move to, because I need to move. This apartment is not big enough anymore. I need more space for my books. So, I don't know what kind of time I have. I mean, obviously, there's a federal holiday coming up that I'm going to I think I'm going to do like a 72-hour like readathon type thing. I have some things to do, but like for the most part, I'm probably going to be chilling. So I'm probably going to do like a little 72-hour-ish thing, maybe like a 48 and 72. I'll figure it out. Anyway, subscribe if you want to see any of that content, or would like to know more. So I'm going to turn the Halloween off of my theme. You know what? We're going to move to an autumn theme and not a Halloween theme. And I have refreshed the prompts, so I got rid of authors who I have finished all their books or have unhauled. So this should be a pretty complete list of prompts, at least at the current time of my life. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and please be nice to me. Okay, I'm not entirely sure the screen capture actually captured anything, but I got BIPOC author, and I think the problem is I'm trying to confirm, but I believe Lauren Asher is a woman of color, and I need to read fine print. So I'm going to investigate further, and if for some reason this is not correct, I will throw something else in there for sure. But we're gonna read the fine print. This is the Literature Book Club pick for August that I have not yet read. There's a small chance I can at least start it between now and September 1st. But the live show is on the 7th, so I'm gonna try to finish it probably early on in the month so that I can read it. This series, what is this called? Dreamland Billionaire series, follows 3 brothers who inherit a Disney-like, whose father owned a Disney-like theme park, and now they're inheriting it. And this, I believe, is office romance. What is the correct? I don't know. Anyway, I'm very excited to read this. I'm upset that I did not get to it. Again, there's a couple of days left. I might. And if I do not, I will definitely replace this with a different book. And if I find out that Lauren Asher is a white lady, I will also find a different book. But for right now, we're going to go with this and adapt as needed. The good part about this ginormous stack is that I want to actually read all of them. The bad part is that there's a lot of them. So here is the TBR. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, am I missing one? There should be 10. Oh, 9 plus either Their Vicious Darling or Status Update. Their Vicious Darling is getting read either way. Question is, does it make it 11 books for the month? So as you can see, that is why we did not play a full version of TBR Takedown this month. It will be back in October. And I have some exciting stuff kind of in the works for the rest of the year in terms of themes and ways to play. So I'm really excited about that. And it's Bookopoly time, which is my favorite time. I love the 48-hour round in March, and I love this round in September. I'm glad I actually get to participate as part of the community this year, which is very exciting for me. Comment down below and let me know if you are participating in Becca's Bookopoly-thon. How did your rolls go? Because clearly I'm gonna be having a hard time, but it's exciting. I love Bookopoly. Really excited to participate. And if you aren't participating in Bookopoly, just what are your reading plans? And how do you normally pick your TBR? Please like this video if you have liked it, and subscribed if you have not already. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.